Hi, I'm Purblind Gamer, and I believe you're in my seat. I mean, I'm certainly not in your seat. Am I? No, it can't be. I've had this chair for years. You must have a different chair somewhere else. Many chairs look alike. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to my channel, stream, whatever. I don't normally stream on the Thursday afternoons, but I felt bad after missing Short Horror Saturday last weekend, and it's possible I'll be indisposed not this weekend but the following one, so I decided to try and be professional and make up for the stream I lost. Yeah, this is me being professional. Oh yeah, and if I look a little bit weird today, like lower resolution, sorry, one of the two games I wanted to stream absolutely will not run in windowed mode, and absolutely will not run in resolution above like 1020 by 768 or whatever that number thing is. I keep trying. I put parameters in the shortcuts that I create, and the game's like, meow, meow. That's my imitation of a freeware game that won't play in windowed mode or let you pick a bigger resolution. Which I suppose it can be forgiven since it's, I don't know, 15 plus years old. At least 15. But I had two games planned for today. Well, initially Saturday, now today. And the first one is Sofia's Debt, which I remember making the rounds on various freeware sites back in the day, like mid-2000s, with the tagline, "Do you dare to feel the horror?" So I'm pretty sure it's a horror game. Yeah, the guy who made it compared it to an episode of The Twilight Zone with a strong feeling of what's going on. And it's another title made in the versatile Wintermute Engine, which was the engine used to make Dead City, which we played on Sunday, and also some of, or maybe all the Carol Reed games after 3 or 4, which are this long-running series of mysteries that was made by an indie developer, and I intend to try playing on stream at some point. But yeah, Wintermute Engine is pretty, or was for the time, pretty good for developing first-person adventure games without, excessive programming knowledge. And I don't know much about Sofia's Debt, other than that it's horror, and it's short. So, let's go ahead and hop right into that. There's something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the office today. So let's go ahead and start playing the game. I will be zooming in and out as needed. It is a day like any other in the life of Anna, a future single mother on her 8-month pregnancy. Anna has a very busy life, which she could not calm down in spite of her state. She would have never wanted to leave university, but the need was much stronger on the day she learned she would not only have to support herself, and nobody else would be able to help her. Anna became an orphan 2 years and a half ago when her father died. Her mother, as well as her grandmother, had killed themselves after they had their first child due to a rare schizophrenia. Okay, so this game is about mental illness, it seems. This makes her feel uneasy, since she is pregnant now, But not too much. She has other things to worry about. It's 8 o'clock p.m., and Anna has just arrived tired after a long day of work, which is worse because of how much her belly weighs. She only hopes to take a rest. And obviously, English is not the original language of this game. How funny. I should... Yeah. The Great Paranoid by Dali. Oh, that's weird. We just saw Salvador Dali-esque art in Sam and Max yesterday. The lamp helps to give a dim lighting. What do I hear now? My new stereo. It is one of the few luxuries I can have with my low salary. I don't think it said where she works, other than she's left university. Boy, howdy, have we just hit the treasure trove of DMCA violations. Which one shall we listen to? Les Miserables? Phantom of the Opera? Miss Saigon? Yeah, it's a free game. They could get away with that back in the day. I mean, still could if we weren't streaming it. Such good memories. Wonder which one is Anna. I wonder if these were the developers' real-life friends. 8 o'clock. The door keys. And a very early 2000s cellular phone. I would drink a little. I like having a drink after work. Except I think if she's pregnant, she probably shouldn't, but... I haven't read these books. They're new. I hate this book. It's a present from my aunt. Can't make out the title. I think maybe it's just supposed to look like writing. Oh, Les Miserables. Family books, photos, family trees. My old biology book. I'm not in the mood for that now. And these are all her old biology book. Magazines, I've read them all. Gotta make darn sure I don't overlook the one important book on the bookshelf this time. Novels, old university books, math, anatomy, physics. Coat stand belonged to my dad. Only living thing in this house apart from me, it's a plant. I like reading on the rocking chair. Music says this is an important painting. Raphaelesque burst head. Grandma's painting. Grandma who killed herself after giving birth due to schizophrenia or something. prefer to keep the door locked. Oh. Dream caused by the flight of a bee. Oh. Oh, Dolly. Interesting. That's pretty cool. And there's nudity, sorry. Sometimes danger of yeah, great art, unexpected nudity. Who should we call? Mark. No way! I'm guessing Mark may be the ex-boyfriend who left her. Gabriel. Hello? Have you ever thought what comes after death? Anna, are you alright? Why are you asking that? I don't know. I feel something special is about to happen. I'm sensitive because of the pregnancy. I hope I don't give birth to the baby before the right time. Anna, you know I'm here to help you with anything you need. I know, and I thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. Edward. Hello? Hello, Edward. How are you? I'm sorry, I'm so busy, studying all the time. You know I would like to be there now. I'll visit you tomorrow. I have to leave you now. See you tomorrow. Overworked university student type. I know him well. Natalie. Hello? How are you, Nat? Very well, but I can't say that. Oh, that's... Very well, but I can't say the same about you. You don't sound very happy. Is there anything wrong? Is it so obvious? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm very tired. I feel lonely. I'm pregnant and I feel I can't deal with everything. Well, honey, here you have a friend you can count on when you're sad. Don't you feel discouraged. There are a lot of people who love you. Well, thanks, Nat. It's good talking to you. Bye. Bye. They're abrupt conversations for how intense/deep they can get. They seem to be played seriously as opposed to, say, babysitter bloodbath. The line was cut because I didn't pay and I only have a cell phone. Oh, pizza. I'm not hungry and I don't have the money. We've looked at everything. A glass? Oh, so I guess it's a glass made out of glass. Shit! I dropped the glass and it broke. Now I'll have to clean it up, I think it said. I'm too nervous. I won't be good to drink. The broom. It's my broom. Oops. Oh. So basically it's a broom. I think I'll keep a piece of glass. Pretty clean break. That's, yeah, smash goblets go. we got all of it. Oops. I think that... Oops. The floor could be unsafe. I prefer not. Oh, okay, so it won't let us leave until we get the rest of the glass. Oh, unless... the door. Oh. How strange. Who would... Let's shove this letter under the door. If you really want to know what happened to your grandma, look among your things. Something is looking for you. It's waiting for you. Not going to look out and see if anyone's there. It's 9 o'clock now. Family books. Not among the family photo albums. No. I'm just kind of assuming we're supposed to cut something since all we have is the glass and a broom. The grandmother's painting, maybe? What is this? A very old diary. Oh. It could be that for... It could... It was there when I met him. I never knew his name, and that was the first and last time I saw him. He was very strange. He seemed to be foreign. I was watching him, and suddenly he approached me to ask me something. I don't remember. It must have been some kind of spell, because I don't remember how I ended up in bed next to him. I had no commitment then, and the situation was irresistible. Now I think about it, and I don't know how I could have done it. I thought there would be no consequences, and everything would be left in the past, until I knew I was pregnant. He spoke very little with his strange accent. I was terrified when he said goodbye, saying, "I'll come back for what belongs to me." Fortunately, that was the last time I saw him. Okay. The days passed, and I had to face my pregnancy the best way possible. It was then when I met Philip, which helped me a lot at those hard times. I didn't fall madly in love with him, but he accepted my pregnancy. He said he would take care of the baby as if it were his own.
Angela. Hey.
Hey,
I
Angela.
can't stay, but wanted to say hi since I missed last night's stream. Smiley face, hope you have a good night.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, we're just having a short stream making up for missing Short Horror Saturday, but I really appreciate your stopping by, and I hope you have a good night too, and I'll catch you at some other stream. See, he would take care of the baby as if it were his own, and besides, his ideas of leaving the country and starting a new life in the new world encouraged me. Philip knows how to work the land in the fields, and has many expectations that we own our land in America. We got married a few weeks ago, and I'm very excited because tomorrow we embark on something new and unknown, a new life, which I hope will be better than this one. In the middle of the ocean, February 19th of 1941. We are already on this nasty ship, full of rats. We barely have a bed for each of us. There are more people than space, and I hope this voyage, which is very long, does not bring complications to my pregnancy. I'll try to have the best time possible if I can. Crossing the ocean on a crowded ship during World War II does not sound like the best idea. Of course, America wasn't in the war then. Buenos Aires, 16th March. We have arrived in the city today, and nothing is what we expected. We were given a bed each for only 3 days in a disgusting hotel for immigrants, which is even worse than the ship, of which I can still feel the movement. Although I'm on land, I felt as sick during the trip. I felt so sick during the trip that I could hardly eat or even write. But here I am again, and nothing seems to improve. I don't know what destiny will bring after these 3 days in the hotel. I only hope God will help me, as He has done until now, keeping my pregnancy in spite of all. Buenos Aires, 25th March. Although things are not as I expected, they are getting better, little by little. My belly is big, and I can already feel the baby kicking. I can't wait to meet him or her. Finally, Philip has a little job that helps us out and pays the rent of this little room we got in a tenement in city center. It is very unlikely that we will be able to start a new life in our own land. I guess owning their own land? The prices are very high, and the only way would be working as farm laborers or tenants with conditions that are too bad for us. We are content with this job in the factory for now, while I take care of my pregnancy. April 18th, Buenos Aires. I'm scared, and I don't know what to do. This has been happening for days, and I don't even dare to write it. Every day, some hours after Philip goes to the factory, I hear strange voices in the room next door to mine. Voices in languages I can't understand. Shouts. It is as if there were more than one person in that place. The door is always closed, and I have never seen who lives there. I don't know if I should tell Philip. It always happens when he's not at home, and I'm afraid he might think I'm crazy, but I'm not. Buenos Aires, 7th May. It has been very good lately. I haven't heard any noises from the room near ours for many days, and the baby will be born soon. I can't wait for the delivery to end. 13th June. My baby was born, and it is a beautiful boy. The delivery was painful, but it's over. Now I have to devote myself to raising him, and for that I have to move. I know the noises have stopped, but I'm still afraid, and I have a bad feeling. The door of the mysterious room is always closed, and sometimes I think I see lights coming out of it when I go past it to hang the clothes. Once I discreetly talked about it with some neighbors, but nobody had seen or heard anything. This seems too strange to me. I want to leave this place as soon as possible. No, now. All in print. Buenos Aires, 26 August 1941. The days go by and Philip categorically refuses to leave the tenement. He says we were lucky to find something so cheap and that we can't afford another place to live with dignity. I can't sleep at night. I shiver. I'm frightened, and I don't even know what I fear. I take care of my son all day, but my head is somewhere else. Oh. Scribbles. October 30th. The noises have started again. I don't know if I can stand it. I think I'm going crazy. My relationship with Philip is ruined. I can't stop shaking all day. I don't have any milk left to breastfeed my baby. But that's not the worst thing. I can now feel the voices calling my name in the dark. Even when Philip is at home, now I know it's him who is calling me. I don't know why, but I feel a distressing need to go with him. Like the first time we met, I don't know how long I can resist. Buenos Aires, 2nd November. I went to him yesterday. I think this diary is the only thing I have left. He demands that I give him my child. I know I shouldn't do it, and I don't want to do it, but it is something I can't control. I feel my life is fading. I only hope God helps me to keep a little sanity before doing what He asks me to. I wonder if I could save him. If I try to go in his place, I beg to heaven I can. How strange that I never knew any of this about my grandmother. Oh, there are no more pages. So it sounds like the grandmother killed herself to prevent giving the baby to the father, who may have some supernatural powers. Wait, there. What are those noises? They come from behind the door. Oh, I hear them. I mean, I wouldn't open the door, but maybe we have to. I need to see what those noises outside are. Kind of expecting a jump scare. I don't know about you guys. Now the door is open. Les Miserables stationery. Now I know who I am and what my mission in this world is. Now I know how hard life was for my grandmother and my mother, tormented only to be able to save me. But they couldn't. I'm not as brave as they were, and I don't have the strength to carry on. And if I succeed, what would I leave to my descendants? To fight again for the same thing? When I opened the door and saw
C__cross. Hey there, going to lurk while I do some other things, but good to see ya.
Hey, C-Cross, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it, and I hope you're having a good day and getting stuff done. When I opened the door and saw Esteban's face, who I thought was the father of my son, I understood it was him, the one my grandmother talked about in her diary. I looked into his eyes, and I then knew what my destiny was, and I won't fight to change it. I will give myself tomorrow, and the end is inevitable. It's time for somebody to pay the debt so that this nightmare will end, and that someone is me, Anna. Oh, and that's the end. So I guess she's going to give the baby to the person or creature outside the door and pay the debt that her grandmother technically owed. And it automatically quit. Wow, that was fairly dark. I mean, not that bad, not bad for a short game. I feel like it might have been better as a short story than a game, and I kind of wish we'd gotten to know a little bit more about Anna's life and the characters. Like, I don't think she mentioned Esteban by name until like the ending text. There was just, a reference to her being pregnant, and then apparently the guy leaving her in the opening text. Kind of an interesting story, though. We're not sure whether she's mentally ill or there really is a monster, but it kind of sounds like there really is a monster. But then we're seeing it all from her perspective. Yeah, I wish there was a little more to that game. I think it was probably one of those things that was a lot more impressive when it first came out, especially, being in first person, which there weren't so many first person adventure games. Flash doesn't count at the time. Like when we played Lost in the Nightmare, for my first official stream, that was, close to like top tier freeware first person adventure. But now for something that's a bit of a change of pace. There's a game that I discovered many years ago and I've been wanting to try again, called Night of the Cephalopods. It's basically a Lovecraftian survival horror, but kind of more of a comedy. And the writing's a pretty good imitation of Lovecraft's style, but definitely comic. I think it would be hard to do it without it sounding kind of funny. And anyway, the premise of the game is that you're a scholar of some sort who translates the Octonomicon, which is a book of the dead or something in 8 volumes, hence the Oct. Or so you think. But you mistranslate it because it's actually called the Octonomicon because it's linked to giant octopi / squids from another world. octopi, squids, the eldritch interference between time and space makes it hard to distinguish between them as we go mad. So they're technically both octopi and squids, and neither. So they spawn through a rift in time and chase you out of the cabin, and you have to survive till morning with limited ammunition. But it's a pretty simple game, but it was made like freeware, made for a competition, and never actually expanded into a full game. But the really innovative feature is that it has dynamic narration. So the narration changes based on the circumstances and how many times you've done something, and that sort of thing. It's fully voice acted by a pretty good voice actor. And it was made in like the mid-aughts, I think. And I don't know if other games had done dynamic narration to the same degree. It was kind of an interesting proof of concept, because dynamic narration would later be used in the indie hit Bastion in like circa 2010. If you haven't played that, I highly recommend it. And then more recently in the Stanley Parable, which is a kind of absurd, surreal walking simulator that's my roommate showed it to me. Like, he got it from Epic Games, and it's like fall out of your chair laughing hilarious. So I'm gonna have to buy a copy and play that eventually. We all know it. But yeah, Night of the Cephalopods precedes those and pioneers the concept. And oh right, the other reason I wanted to try this out is, I finally got around to getting a controller for PC games, because I grew up playing console games but never had a PC one. I had an old DOS joystick at some point. Yeah, it's a Logitech F310 or something, which is, according to my research, is supposed to be one of the better made and more versatile and better shaped controllers for the PC. I think you can also play Xbox games with it. But I was lucky, I got one used on eBay for less than $10, including shipping, and it seems to work. Unfortunately, I only have 3 standard USB ports in my laptop. Gotta fix that eventually. So we're going to open the game, then unplug the mouse, because it's either the mouse or the nice camera or the Blue Yeti, and I don't want to mess things up in the middle of stream. And then we're going to shoot us some giant Lovecraftian floating squids, because who wouldn't want to do that? And calamari is delicious, if it even is calamari and not octopus meat. What's octopus meat called? I don't know. I ain't no chef. Here we are. Night of the Cephalopods. Which, alright, I better zoom all the way out and leave text to speech on, so that I can play this without having to look at chat. There. I believe it's made in Game Maker. So just hit F4 to change to window mode, and it seems to be centered. Game Maker was a great program. It's still around, but for a while it was like Game Maker and the Click Team products were like 2 of the most versatile and, it seemed to me, widely used engines to make freeware games. Consumer level, basically. Except I think Game Maker was freeware, but then at some point they made a full version of it, or paid version, called Game Maker Studio. I don't know. I don't follow these things. I just half remember them. Night of the Cephalopods. A terrifying experiment in narrative excess. Oh boy. Ooh, I feel like a pro gamer now. Yeah. Only the joysticks work with this game. Which is weird, because it's like... I think you can only move in 4 directions. About. Oh, I can't zoom in now. Night of the Cephalopods was originally created as part of the Artsy Games Incubator. It's meant to explore how interactive narration can be added to simple games to add depth, humor, and story. Also, you get to blow up squiddy things with a shotgun. Scott Moyle did the voice acting. Wonder if he went on to do anything else. Game Maker 7.0 Pro. And then just credits and stuff. Less ready, more shooty. This is gonna be fun.
I had run from the cottage in a blind fear, having time only to grab my shotgun and a handful of shells. Hours or minutes later, when the madness finally fled from my heart, I found myself lost but blessedly alone. I could make out nothing unique amongst the dank foliage and bracken. I cannot recall if I'd passed that patch of woods before.
Oh, they're coming. And if they touch you, you lose some of your sanity.
When the tentacles touched me, I felt a mixture of horror and ecstasy so intense that it flung me several feet. So strong was the experience.
Don't get too excited there, mate. Noisome tentacles. You can stand still to regain a bit of your mental sanity, mental stability.
In the sudden silence, I took the time to rest and regather my wits.
Guess my
Pockets brimming, I was forced to leave the ammo where it lay. When the noisome tentacles touched me, I felt a mixture of horror and ecstasy so intense that it flung me several feet. So strong was the experience.
I'm going to go ahead and let them kill me just because I realized I'd never seen the bad ending.
And sour bile in
I don't think I have.
I knew I would not withstand much more.
It's unfortunately a rather easy game.
And to tend to my wounds.
Like, you can beat it without much trouble, but the fun is triggering all the animations.
By now, dear reader, you have realized the terrible truth. I write this tale not by human hand, but with noisome tentacle. I still retain my human mind. For how long, I do not know. My 8-armed brethren call to me. Perhaps I will put down this pen and follow them. Their voices are so sweet, and I can hear the ocean.
Well, that was certainly a twist ending. There we are. Xbox 360 controllers with Rumble. But I do not have Rumble.
I had run from the cottage in a
This
blind
time we play
fear,
seriously.
having time only to grab my shotgun and a handful of shells. Hours or minutes later, when the madness finally fled from my heart, I found myself lost but blessedly alone. I grabbed the ammo, knowing that my life might depend on it.
Reasonably slow. Nope. Maybe they get a little
bracken
faster.
in that part of the forest was thick, forming a maze of twisty passages all alike. I felt a surge of hope as I reloaded. I don't know why, but I love to reload during a battle. I came across a large glade filled with flowers of queer and disturbing aspect. The sickly sweet smell of the night bloomers hit me like a physical force.
Oh my, there's a lot of them. Try and sneak past.
I found myself again at the maze of twisty paths, thinking perhaps another path might lead me true to freedom and escape.
Oops.
My pockets bulged to fullness with shells. Ammo would not be a worry for quite some time. I fumbled with the bullets, hurriedly placing them into the chamber,
So they do
breathless with fear.
So they do get a little faster.
I had returned to the glade of flowers. Their sickly scent had, if anything, grown stronger since I had last visited, and I held my breath for as long as I could manage.
Notice in the upper right corner, it's 4 hours till dawn. Oh my, 3 hits. 7. Maybe it won't spawn more than 8 at a time.
Despite the onslaught of tentacled monstrosities, I rallied and regained my composure.
Good for me. Oh shoot.
I felt a surge of hope as I reloaded. I don't know why, but I love to reload during a battle.
Entirely too much AI there, Mr. Squid Man. Nigel. Have you guys ever played the Calamari Cubes games from the Dodgy Posse? DOS Freeware Classics. The first one was good. I never couldn't figure out the second one.
I found myself again at the maze of twisty paths, thinking perhaps another path might lead me true to freedom and escape.
Is there any way to shoot through these logs?
Hands shook with terror. Shot after shot flew uselessly through the air, hitting anything other than the eldritch octopi. I fumbled with the bullets, hurriedly placing them into the chamber, breathless with fear. I could make out nothing unique amongst the dank foliage and bracken. I cannot recall if I'd passed that patch of woods before. I grabbed the ammo, knowing that my life might depend on it. I was at the glade where I first found myself that night. Fitting, I thought to myself, that it might also be the last place I see. Having fired the last bullet, I wandered around like an impotent fool. The empty gun gripped tightly in my hands.
Ah.
I felt a surge of hope as I reloaded. I don't know why, but I love to reload during a battle.
I see, so if you don't reload, it triggers something else. There. If I can regain sanity while...
Having fired the last bullet, I wandered around like an impotent fool. The empty gun gripped tightly in my hands. I didn't move, being gripped as I was by some eldritch fear, some nameless dread.
Oh, maybe I already... Just want to see if he'll say something different if he regains sanity while the gun's empty.
Despite the onslaught of tentacled monstrosities, I
Tentacled
rallied and
monstrosities.
regained my composure. I had come to my final box of shells, perhaps the last I would ever see. What could be said of that particular patch of forest other than that it had an overabundance of damp foliage and a corresponding dearth of landmarks.
And some... Oh.
I grabbed as the blessed light of dawn broke through the trees, the nocturnal sea devils.
I'm not ready to see the ending sequence yet. Let's play it through one more time and see what else we can discover.
I had run from the cottage.
Remember when I said it was
blind
slightly
fear,
too easy?
having time only to grab my shotgun and a handful of shells. Hours or minutes later, when the madness finally fled from my heart, I found myself lost but blessedly alone.
I like the size of these graphics. It's easy to see, make out the important part without getting too close to the screen. I don't know how normal people hold the controller. Like, the way my keyboard is set up.
What could
Sticking
be said
out
of that
so
particular
far.
patch of forest, other than that it had an overabundance of damp foliage and a corresponding dearth of landmarks?
I can either hold it up here, at which point my hands are resting on the edge of my laptop, or I can hold it down here. Maybe that's how normal people play. I think that's how I used to play.
What could be said of that particular patch of forest, other than that it had an overabundance of damp foliage and a corresponding dearth of landmarks?
Let's see, I've explored the lower path thoroughly enough, and it just ends in dead ends. Oops.
I fumbled with the bullets, hurriedly placing them into the chamber, breathless with fear. What could be said of that particular patch of forest, other than that it had an overabundance of damp foliage and a corresponding dearth of landmarks?
Yeah, using a bunch of 2-bit words.
What could be said of that particular patch of forest, other than that it had an overabundance of damp foliage and a corresponding dearth of landmarks? I could make out nothing unique amongst the dank foliage and bracken. I cannot recall if I'd passed that patch of woods before.
You can't tell what he's saying. I could make out in the eek. I could make out in ink.
An old New England cemetery. At least whoever found me would not need to carry me far, I thought grimly.
Do anything to the gravestones?
The epitaph read, "Here lies S. Moyle. He spoke and then was silent."
What?
The gravestone's text was obscured by a heavy coating of lichen and what looked like a patch of barnacles?
It seemed to clear
I
it.
felt a surge of hope as I reloaded. I don't know why, but I love to reload during a battle. In his house at Rillia, dead Miguel waits dreaming was carved into the stone in a primitive hand.
This one's a fresh grave.
I remember that grave was particularly worn and old-looking, yet the earth had seemed newly disturbed, as if someone had recently been buried. Or unburied? The gravestone was completely blank. Despite that,
Tabula
someone
rasa.
had left flowers recently.
Oh wait, that one at the top of the screen. I think that's the voice actor. His name. And that's why I said he spoke and then was silenced. And the thing, if you leave, they don't all
Cemetery.
respawn.
No doubt some malevolent force or subliminal wish for death had urged me into returning again that night.
You're saying
The statue was hideously familiar.
Cthulhu.
Had there been more linking those sea demons to this place than my own foolish act that night?
The plot thickens.
I felt a surge of hope as I reloaded. I don't know why, but I love to reload during a battle. The nearest eldritch octopi glowed with malevolence as a dark force flung me away. The air was heavy with the smell of brine and ozone.
Oh, shoot. Oh, they're not inordinately happy. Oh, they calmed down. I want to see if there's like a third thing he'll say about the cemetery.
The epitaph read, "Here lies S. Moyle." He spoke and then was silent. What could be said of that particular patch of forest, other than that it had an overabundance of damp foliage and a corresponding dearth of landmarks? The cemetery. No doubt some malevolent force or subliminal wish for death had urged me into returning again that night.
Same thing.
I had but 6 shells left. I knew I would have to make them count.
Yeah. Take that. Calamari
Tentacled
Damashi.
horror after tentacled horror fell to my bullets. How long my luck would last, I could not tell. The nearest octopi glowed with malevolence as a dark force flung me away.
It's
As the
morning.
blessed light of dawn broke through the trees, the nocturnal sea devils bubbled and melted in a foul-smelling fog. Burnt seaweed mingled with a sickly sweetness like rotten fruit. My eyes teared and stung, but I knew I would live another day. Had I known what the future held for me, I may have wished otherwise.
Kinda wish they did make a sequel or a full game. But, you know, a good Lovecraftian comedy could be excellent, I think. No, right. Mouse unplugged. Don't want to unplug the wrong thing. Why, that would be bad. Oh, thanks, Logitech. I have a feeling we'll be hearing from you again if I make good on my threat to play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and other things. Let me just reconnect the mouse and we'll wrap up. There. So yeah, that was... Oh my, it got dark. So that was Night of the Cephalopods and Sofia's Debt. 2 very different games. And both somewhat entertaining, if you like horror. I'm glad we've got more games since then with dynamic narration. Narrative excess, as they call it, and I hope they continue. Had I known how many games would emulate me, weren't all that many games. Just 1 or 2 hits. Look here now, if you're going to minimize the games that do dynamic narration, I'm not going to keep narrating. Never said I was going to keep narrating either. How long's it been since we got a sequel to Bastion? And how long has it been since I first ventured against the squid octopi, and everybody forgot my existence, like a thought whispered into the dark madness. Better stop making fun of madness. Saw how it ended up in that other game. That's assuming that the other game was in fact madness and not a demon. I don't think that Sofia's Debt treated mental illness with the maturity it deserves. You're one to talk about maturity. How would you know? David hasn't finished my game. He's finished yours. He finished mine too, many times. Well, at least thrice. With a gap of more than 10 years. Where was I then? Probably shooting squids and mistranslating books. Okay, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. But it would be fun if Rux and the Stanley guy and the cephalopod guy and who knows who else ran into each other. Oh boy, do I have some weird ideas. Well, thank you guys who came through for this short horror Saturday on a Thursday, making up for what I missed last week. And coming up, I intend to do a short horror Saturday this coming Saturday again. Probably with some sort of FPS. I have a couple of candidates in mind. And we finished Sam and Max Hit the Road last night, so it was hilarious. I'm not sure which long games I'll start, because we also finished Women's Murder Club Little Black Lies. So I might start another traditional adventure game, or I might start this horror game called The Crooked Man I've been wanting to finish playing. Or I might start an action game, but I don't know if people would be really interested, because we started Soldier of Fortune, but I don't know if people would be interested in sticking around for something like that. But there'll be more games coming up. If everybody could stick around for just a couple minutes and we'll raid somebody, I'd really appreciate it. Oh yeah, notice my last couple streams haven't crashed. I have theories about that. Theories indeed. Oh, Felly's live. We almost never get to raid her. She doesn't you do her Sunday cooking streams regularly. Let's go say hi to her. She's nice, and she's... What is she playing tonight? Oh, she's playing Demon Souls. She was playing this weird, like, RTS/building game hybrid, but everybody loves Demon Souls, or at least has an opinion of it. Except me, I've never tried a Souls-like. So... yeah. Okay. So, thank you again for coming by, and I hope you enjoyed these two unusual horror games. I'm Purblind Gamer, a variety/retro streamer
__cross
who specializes in horror. Oh, thank you so much, C-Cross. I really appreciate your coming by. And let's see, I hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see you all Saturday or Sunday. And please stick around for the raid.